Hi everyone, this is Makran, the PM for machine learning. So today we'll have a brief look at our newest feature, which is ML Center. So ML Center lives within the Metrics Launchpad in the CDP application. So when you click Metrics Launchpad, this list of dashboards opens. So if you scroll down, these are the list of 10 pre-built dashboards, each highlighting one of the machine learning models from the personalization or predictions family. So in total, 10 dashboards. Uh, so let's just jump right into each of these families and see the overall layout and how you could use them in your day-to-day work. So let's open optimal email send time. So whenever you open a model, there's a basic structure that it follows. So it will at the top say what model this dashboard is showing, a brief description about the model. So for example, optimal email send time model is used to uh, find the best time to send emails for each individual so that we want to maximize the open rate. It is built on using the historic email interactions of the individual customers. So the basic format is that there will be a visualization and then an explanation for the visualization on the right. So here, this specific chart is showing what is the optimal email send time for the entire customer pool. So as we can see, there are three different optimal email send time. So there is a weekday send time, there's a weekend send time, and then there's an overall optimal email send time. So this text on the right shows that, hey, optimal email send time customer distribution analysis, and what you could do with this is basically find out if you have basically find out what is the optimal email send time for your entire customer pool. And let's say if you have an ESP that you want to use to do an email blast, you can probably say that, hey, between 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. on a weekday, most people open emails, so I will program my ESP to send emails then. Or the other thing you could do is, because these predictions are made for each customers, you could program the ESP to send it out based on whatever time slot the model throws up for each customer. And as you can clearly see, the time slots are in 1 hour increments starting from 12 a.m. all the way till 12 p.m. So same thing for weekend. So there's an optimal email send time for weekend, and clearly, as you can see, as expected, people usually end up opening their emails earlier. So it says that the most optimal email send time to send for people is between 12 p.m. to somewhere around 5 p.m. on a weekday, and then there's an overall prediction as well. At the bottom for each model, there's a request activation link. So for some reason, if this model doesn't populate, and the only reason would be that you do not have the underlying model enabled or implemented, you can click request activation. What that will do is basically open up a form where you could fill out your details and whatever model you're interested in. Once you hit submit, a CSM will get the notification, and a CSM or the ML team, whoever is manning this, will get the notification, and then they will follow up with the entire model implementation lifecycle. And once it's implemented, you will have the predictions, for example, optimal email send time available for you within the dashboard, within the Actions app, within the Metrics app, and also within 360 profiles for your qualified customer pool. So let's go to another model. So let's pick one from the personas family. So I'll pick my favorite, behavior-based cluster. Again, behavior-based clusters also follows the similar approach. You have your title on top. It describes what this model does, which is basically groups customer based on their overall buying behavior. And this first chart basically shows a revenue distribution analysis, which is basically what is the total revenue contributed by each of the different clusters. So as expected, VIPs have contributed a lot of revenue, close to 2 mil, and revenue distribution analysis can basically help you identify what buckets of customers are the highest contributor to your revenue, and then you could design campaigns around that. So for example, if you see, hey, VIPs buy more. So you could do a VIP engagement campaign. Similarly, there's a migration analysis that shows that how customers have evolved. So regular buyers 2 months ago, some of them have split into high value, low frequency buyers, some in recent low, some in VIP. So this could basically help you identify trend and how my behavior is changing for customers. You could also identify at-risk customers that are moving from high revenue clusters to some of the lower revenue clusters. Another very important and powerful thing here is that you could at any time do an explore here from each of these visualizations, and then using them build your own custom report, custom look, whatever else that you want to do. So for example, in addition to knowing what the total revenue is, I also want to find out how many customers fall into each bucket. So I could add all individuals count, for example, here, run this and get this data along with my total revenue. As you can see, this data becomes available. I would, if I want to change this, I could change this to, let's say, a bar graph analysis, line analysis, whatever it is that I want to do. So basically, you can do a click, straight click to explore and build on top of this analysis or whatever else. So let's go back. In addition to the migration analysis, each clustering analysis also has a heat map. So the heat map is important for us to understand a couple of things. Letting it load. So basically, you can see that, hey, my VIPs have a high AOV and a low average discount, and their average unit price is fairly high, right? Similarly, their average lifetime revenue is also fairly high compared to the rest. So this basically heat map analysis helps us identify the different features that make up that specific cluster at an aggregate level. You can also identify how these values change across clusters. Then there is a pie chart that shows all individuals and definitions of what these different things mean by standard. And then another that shows scored individuals only for behavior clusters. And as we can clearly see that discount bias is the lowest number of people in the customer pool, but do know this is just dummy data, so it will vary across times. And then finally, let's do another for a likelihood model. So I'll show one for likelihood to buy. So again, likelihood to buy dashboard opens up with the title explaining that likelihood to buy predicts the probability that an existing customer will buy in the next 30 days. There's a revenue distribution analysis, and this makes sense, right? Likelihood to buy for high prediction customers has a very high number of total lifetime revenue, and decreases as the likelihood to buy decreases as well from high to low. So you could use this analysis probably to find out that, hey, which revenue segments, which likelihood segments have the most revenue contribution. You could also lower discount rates on high likelihood to buy customers and use that same discount pool to at-risk customers, for example. Again, migration analysis showing how high customers are changing to medium, or how low customers are mostly remaining low. There's a backtesting analysis that basically shows that what was the likelihood to buy prediction that we did 1 month ago, and then how many actual transactions happened in that time period. So this very beautifully shows that, hey, we predicted high here, and there were a total of 290 transactions that happened in this time period in the last 30 days. This is a decreasing trend in line with what it's supposed to be there. There's a total individual count analysis and a scored individual count analysis. Like you to buy basically differentiates customers by decile. So these should actually be almost equal, which is the case here. And then again, at the bottom, there's a request activation link in case this does not populate for you. Same basic outlaw layout that you have a visualization and its explanation and use case. So that's basically ML Center. In version 2, we'll be coming up with more features like feature importance, DNA, and SHAP values for individual customers. So stay tuned for that. Again, this is Makran, the PM for machine learning. Thank you for listening in. And if you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.